Hey yo, my name is Sarah, and today's book review is on The Last Life of Prince Alastor, second and final book in the dreadful tale of Prosper Writing, written by Alexandra Bracken. I'm gonna miss my little fox. Non-spoilers. I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. So it basically takes off right after the first book where Prue is taken by Pyra to the downstairs. And Prosper, along with a very reluctant Alastor, has to go down there to rescue Prue before whatever Pyra has in mind, you know, comes true. Now, I will admit, I believe, in the first book, it was very wordy. This book, it's still very wordy, so it takes me out. It took me out a couple of times, and I really didn't enjoy that whatsoever. Now, besides all the wordiness that I had an issue with, Alexandra Bracken, I really enjoyed visiting the downstairs. I hope things go well for the Fiends and everything. And I forgot how much I enjoyed most of these characters. Prosper, he had, I guess you'd say, a character arc where he, grew into his own. I really missed Alastor and his sassiness. I really did. As for Nell, she was fun to have around. I would like to have a witch downstairs if I'm going downstairs as well. And she as well had her own character arc as well. We also get some new characters that join, Team Prosper to rescuing Prue. And let's just say something more evil than Fiends is lurking around. Again, I really can't go into much detail since it's the second and last book to the first book, Prosper Writing. For those of you who enjoyed it, this is a great conclusion. I will admit this is like a very lengthy Mission Impossible since it's basically trying to get Prue back. And what I mean by that is that, we have some parts where it's action and then it's plotting. So, like I said, it's a very lengthy Mission Impossible. But either way, it was a great conclusion to a series that I enjoyed, to characters I will miss. And I'm like, no, I don't want them to go. But all in all, I had a great ride with these characters. And yeah, that's the end of my non-spoilers. The Last Life of Prince Alastor, second and final book in the Dreadful Tale of Prosper Writing series, written by Alexandra Bracken. 4 out of 5 stars, people. Bye, non-spoilers. Spoilers. But before we get into spoilers, what the fuck say? Okay, I just had to do that one time. Moving on. The one thing I really, really enjoyed in this whole book was the fact that we not only got flashbacks, but we also got parts through Alastor's point of view. And honestly, I would have enjoyed this book a whole lot more if we had more of those. Meaning the book opens up actually in a flashback when Alastor meets Honor Redding. Yay! And all I have to say is that, Honor Redding, he's an honorable man. He's been through so much hardship. And of course, Alastor felt that. It's like, I shall collect this shade or whatever with a contract. All I have to say, because also in chapter 1, Prosper does this as well with Alastor. It's like, children, read the fine details in the contracts before signing. Because Honor makes an emotional deal with Alastor that, starts everything in motion. And of course, Prosper, having been with Alastor for how long, knows how the Fiend works. So at least he, unlike his ancestor, thought of all the loopholes and got Alastor to make the contract. Again, the biggest theme in this whole book, children, read the fine details before signing said contract. Now we get to the downstairs, which is basically like how I kind of see the downstairs like, what's it called? Death City from Soul Eater. It's kind of layered into, I believe, 4 sections where, the underclass fiends are, and then we keep going until we meet the royals. It's kind of like how I said stationed like Death City from Soul Eater. Only one problem. Our mission to save Prue doesn't take off on such a great start. Apparently, I believe the palace where Prue is supposed to be, it's gone. Multiple noble buildings are either crumbling or gone. And things are too quiet downstairs, meaning Alastor doesn't know what's going on, meaning many things have changed since he was gone. Again, not off to a good start. But hey, Prosper knows how to cheer our poor little fox up, because apparently there's like things called blood rats that are just running around. And he's like, hey, look, that rat's eating another one. Come on, that should cheer you up. And Alastor's like, a little. Aww, let's give this fox a cute little hug. Now, crumbling buildings for upper class is a little concerning, but what's more concerning and driving Alastor crazy in a way through this whole book is the fact that all the classed fiends aren't acting the way that they're supposed to, because he's like saying to Prosper, oh, these fiends were born into this position, they should be happy, they should be, content on what they were born to do. Well, I believe they get to like the 3rd floor, or in a way, and all the fiends are there helping each other. And it's like, for Alastor, I cannot compute. And then we meet the ogres, who have the Queen's Guard uniform, and that just like blows Alastor's mind. He's like, what is my sister doing? What is this nonsense that she has put into my fellow fiends? And I was like, Alastor, I don't think it's a good idea if you should be talking through Prosper at the moment, because he does see some vampires, and apparently vampires can't use magic because there is a restriction on magic, like, what's that word called? Rationing. Because apparently the downstairs is rationing magic, which, let's see. There's this thing that fiends are calling the void, which sounds terrible. We have ogres saying our great queen put up this rationing thing. That doesn't sound good in any way, but either way, vampires that apparently were once noble and what these ogres mistake Prosper as, not good for the once powerful. Let's just say things just don't turn out so well for these vampires. Oh, and by the way, we're being chased by a bunch of evil dogs and a creature that's tracking Alastor and Prosper after they came out of an outhouse that had a portal from downstairs to the upper world. So no one's gonna look for that portal. And again, Alastor, I think we should keep on a down low, considering that he believes everyone is miserable, and he takes over Prosper for 1 second and he announces himself. But everyone is like, down with the prince, long live the queen, long may she rage. I'm like, really, Alastor? Couldn't keep your mouth shut for 1 minute. Luckily, Nail shows up and rescues the guys. Yay! But problem, for a witch whose magic relies on the moon, let's just say we're on a time schedule because there's no moon and Nell is slowly running out of magic. Now, some things apparently hasn't changed in downstairs, meaning there's a market called Neverwoe, which it's like a mix between the French Quarter with a carnival, if it meant Nightmare Before Christmas. Disney, you have a theme park right here. Make it, and you will have my money. Because I was all like, I'll take a ticket, please. So the part on this mission is that we gotta go to the scholar, who most likely 95% has information onto where to find Prue and where Pyra is keeping her. Now we have what's called the Masters that oversees Neverwoe, and they basically jump through dimensional pockets just to make sure no one breaks their rules. While Alastor thinks that the Masters are masters, meaning they came up with these amazing things that no fiend could ever imagine. Well, previously, we had a little discussion about humans that had accidentally found their way downstairs, and while some had horrific endings, while some actually made it back up but was dragged back down, there were some that, no one knew what happened to. So Prosper is putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4 because he's noticing how we have rides we have some items that we would see at a regular store in the human world. And he's like, yeah, about those other humans, what exactly happened to them? It's like, I do not know. Why do you ask, Maggot? No reason. For those of you who read this, is it clarified that the masters are the humans? Because I was thinking, I was like, are they humans? Are they the humans that went missing? Either that was clarified in the book and I missed that, or it wasn't really and I'm just still suspicious. For those of you who've read that, can you please let me know? We do find the scholar, who's a giant spider, so for those of people who don't like spiders, y'all should probably wait outside the tent. And we find out through the scholar that Alastor, being himself who's willing to do anything to get certain information, gave this guy, this giant spider, letters to his true name. I am not that big of a risk taker, so no. I know we're supposed to be trading and information or something of value like that, but no, I am not giving out my true name. But it kind of helps in the long run for Prosper, because he does steal the scholar's page that has the letters that he's gathered so far. So we begin this giant puzzle crossword to figure out Alastor's name. Either way, the scholar does have info on where to find Prue, and she's in the tower that Pyra used to be. Only problem is there's only one type of hob that can get us there. Names that end with lock. Has anyone seen Nightlock, people? Now, like I said, our party does grow for the mission to save Prue because we meet an elf named Flora. And Alastor's not too happy about that. Nell is very surprised because I believe we thought they went extinct. And Prosper is having a fanboy moment. It's like, oh my god, it's an elf! And through Flora, we find out what this void really is. The name speaks for itself. It's basically the whole downworld crumbling into eternal darkness and taking everything with it, because the magic in this realm has been misused, abused, and is finally coming to bite them in the butt. And apparently that's what Pyra is trying to prevent. That's why she's collecting all this magic, rationing it, because she wants to create a blood key which will open to the realm of ancients and save everyone. So we know our mission is to save Prue. But there's also those, things that are called side missions to gain points or whatever. So we take a side mission to save the changelings, because apparently Nightlock rebought them all from Neverwoe to host a party in honor of their great and glorious queen, long may she rage. And Flora was trying to save them because she loves changelings, and one of the changelings is her friend named a Ribbit, who is a parrot. So again, side mission, save the changelings! And what I mean by points and everything, we get more allies to help with this mission to save Prue. So yay, win for win. Even though Alastor is muttering to himself in the corner. And with this side mission, we meet Zachariah, who is a shade. Bound to a house because Alastor's brother Boone just had to go and die. Yay. I don't know, it's like a mix between realism and pessimism, but Zachariah, man, I love you. I gotta say, out of this book, my favorite characters, of course, is Alastor, but Zachariah, who we see not very little, but little of, I just love this guy. He is amazing. And because of him, we managed to find Toad, Eleanor, and the other changelings. Those that had survived. I thought this was a Disney-sponsored book. I thought all changelings were supposed to live. Either way, we complete the side mission because we want changelings on our sides because they can shift into giant forms of themselves. So we have Toad in his giant cat bat winged form fighting off the Fiends and the evil dog Howlers with their master. And Eleanor, who turns into a giant spider to catch Nightlock. All in all, besides a angered elf that makes a tree grow like from Hellboy 2, and who has like Jekyll and Hyde personality all of a sudden, and a crumbling building that could possibly kill us all, which almost does kill Prosper if it wasn't for the help of Alastor. All goes well for this side mission. Back to the main mission. Now, Nightlock, under a truth-telling spell from Nell, thank you very much, we go into apparently a sewer system that wasn't there to begin with during Alastor's time, and we find out that maybe we should just go through the front door because there are selkies down there. And while Flora is happy to see one, Alastor, who's right now being the voice of reason, is being like, does the elf not remember how elves treated selkies in the past? And Prosper's like, why? And here comes up a selkie, and Alastor says, because they do not approve of selkies eating human flesh. Making perfect sense because I think it's Nightlock or Alastor that points out that when fiends drop dead fiends down into the sewer system, selkies are free to eat whatever they want. Yeah, again, can we not have gone through the front entrance? Because we're getting attacked by man-eating sea creatures down here. I thought selkies were nice. Besides, I think luring people into the ocean. I thought they were nice. But, Sakurai comes in to save the day by being his glowing self as a shade and scares them off. Apparently, the destruction of the house makes his contract null and void, so he is free to do whatever he wants. Either way, though, he still has a contract with Prosper, so he says, until that contract is, completed between us two, I shall haunt you to the very end. I was like, aw, Sakurai, you came back for us. But then again, we find out through Nightlock he managed to get a loophole through, Nell's truth-telling, her curse, so truth-telling curse, because he didn't exactly tell them that, magic doesn't work down there. So who's all in favor of leaving him in the dark? So we do find our way into the prison. We see Prue rescuing herself by going upstairs, and the team follows. And I'm like, wait. Again, the voice of reason is speaking. Alastor, you should know something is weird if Prue is going upstairs where all the fiends are still downstairs, but the stairs is leading up. Well, apparently Pyra got word that during Nightlock's party, Nell pretended to be Pyra to, situation. And so, Pyra, being Pyra, decided, you know what? I shall pretend to be Prue and lead them to the Blood Key, which is supposed to suck out Alastor's magic after, what happened to her brothers and everything. I'm like, there's not anyone. After all that we have been through, we have gone through sewers, we have gone through raging fiend mobs, we have gone through a house about to fall on top of our heads. Are you saying we have gone through all of these trials, and y'all cannot pick up the most simplest tricks in the book? Alastor, you're supposed to be a great fiend that knows all in evil. You did not pick up on this at all? And then, to make matters worse, we find out what Flora's Shekel and High side meant, because apparently she's an ancient. Oh no. And what I mean by oh no is that she is willing to let this world crumble and all, because apparently fiends, back when the realms were being created, were basically the negative emotions from humans that the ancients didn't like, so they're like, let's take out what we don't like, and thus creating the Fiend Empire. So apparently this is all the ancients' fault for everything, and now they're just gonna let the Fiend world crumble because they believe they are a mistake. The Fiends were willing to play nice. This is a situation where we're like, oh no, the bad guys are making sense. Maybe I should listen. Pyra's doing the good thing for the good of our people, even though they have questionable characteristics that we could probably change or live with. But either way, the ancients are willing to let them all die. And Alastor does see the good point in his sister, and he tries to assist her, but Prosper calls out the contract that they made, the deal that they made, and that contract was to get Prue out of the downstairs and back to the human realm. So reluctantly, Alastor opens the glass portal back home, but he's like, our contract does not say anything about me closing the portal. Thus, a bunch of fiends come into our world. Well, more specifically into the town of Redding. So we just have one town that's about to go down in flames. So like I said, we had these parts that I really, really enjoyed, which I really wished we had more of, which was the flashbacks and the the POVs of Alastor. Well, the latest flashback to back when Alastor was with Honor. I was like, oh, okay, I felt a friendship coming amongst these two because Honor would always ask Prosper, how are you doing? What's your family situation? How are your friends and everything? And Alastor would be like, oh, those fools. And he would just talk about his day. And they actually did sound like actual friends chit-chatting. Well, Alastor had to help his father with an uprising or something like that. And he had these great stories that he couldn't wait to tell Honor. And then he gets back to Reading, the town of Red Hood, and he's like, this doesn't feel the same. Even he's been cautious, and then there's Honor being all greedy and an evil human and all, and Alastor is very worried in a way, and he wanted to call him my friend, but he he stopped himself on that, and when he found out the deal that he wanted, that Honor Redding wanted to make with Alastor to get rid of all the Belgraves, Alastor is reluctant. He actually tried to talk him out of making the deal. He's thinking this at first was supposed to be business and all that stuff, but he actually grew to want to be friends. He actually felt like a friend with Honor, and he even felt guilty of making this evil, deadly curse deal with Honor. And when he said 3 months later, he was actually hoping it was Honor coming to his senses and wanting to break the contract. Well, we remember why Honor called Alastor after those 3 months after making this horrible, deadly deal. And I was like, whoa, wait. What's that sound, people? What's that sound? It sounds like my list of people who I would kill for free. It has returned! Honor Redding, you have made my list of people who I'd freely kill. Because I have an idea on how I would do that. I would be like, summoning spell. You have summoned me, master. I am caster of the caster class. What shall I do for you so we may win the Holy Grail? I hereby use my first command seal and order you, caster, to open a portal to the past of Red Hood. Master, I do not understand what you mean by this. I hereby use my second command seal for you to undo the binding and contract between Alastor and Honor Redding. Master, I really don't understand what you want me to do right now, but... And I hereby use my third and final command seal for you to give Honor Redding the most horrible imaginable punishment you can think of. Are you seriously not interested in gaining the Holy Grail? You must obey my command seals. Okay, one portal coming up. Yep, that's me using anime logic, and it will work because I deem it to work. Now, Red Hood is under attack by Fiends because Alastor refuses to close the portal and everything. And while everything is going up in smoke and fire, and the Fiends are collecting the humans to toy with or whatever, Prosper, getting the hero moment, decides to sacrifice himself and try to close the portal from the other side. Well, we remember the one person that wanted to cause him harm for the greater good. Well, he gets back to where the portal is, and he sees his grandmother. And I'm not really surprised on what turned out. I kind of fits her very well. Prosper's grandmother is a witch. And I don't mean that to be mean to other witches out there, but she had the attitude of a witch. But, she comes clean with Prosper because all the hardship that he's gone through with, Alastor. And she apologizes in a way. Also, she closes the portal, so yay, that's good. We don't have to worry about more fiends coming in. But we have a happy reunion because Ribbit is Prosper's grandmother's changeling. So she's like, Ribbit. And it's like, yay, reunion. No, let's go take care of those other fiends that are running around the town. So we go to the cottage with all the inhabitants of Red Hood, and we find out that, there's other witches that cast protection spells, and this land is protected, so none of the fiends can get in. Well, we find out through Alastor, who is still not happy. Fiends can sever contracts, so he does that. So that's null and void, meaning the protection is gone. Oh, and by the way, I was wondering from start to finish on where this dude was. I got my answer. Henry is back. And he kidnaps Prosper, takes him to Pyra, and Pyra says, okay, whatever, your deal is done. Go, be free. Go live out your worthless, meaningful human life and everything. And after he tries to get rid of Prosper and Alastor to fulfill the blood key or whatever. Again, I thought this was sponsored by Disney. I didn't think Disney approved of stabby, blood all over the place, but okay, moving on from that. Now, we get into the portion of this review that I would like to call Talk No Jutsu! First of all, Sakura, who disappeared along with Flora, manages to stop the blood key from becoming whole and everything, and Flora, having returned to her ancient self, shows that there's other ancients in the woods. And they're not too happy and everything, and they're willing to, let the fiends and everything die, get rid of all of them. And Alastor, who's no longer attached to Prosper's body, meaning we see him in his fox form, he's actually trying to talk sense into the ancients of letting Pyra and all the other fiends go. And then Nell and Prosper prove their points, saying, this is your fault. Everything that has happened up until now has been your fault, because y'all weren't happy with how the humans were, and it's like, oh wait, they're making sense. Oh my god, Talk No Jutsu is in effect. And so the ancients want to know, so how can we solve this? Well, Sakura says, I will take care of the blood key, and they're like, well, one shade cannot withstand all of this magic. It's like, what about a whole lineage? And I'm like, wait. Is he? I had my suspicions. Sakura is already. So all the souls that Alastor had not been able to collect give themselves up, meaning that they were ready to move on, either if they were to die or to not. They, together, along with honor, I thought my caster took care of you, they give themselves to stop the red key. Part 1 of Talk No Jutsu is in effect. Second part, Pyra agreed to give up her magic and her second form if it meant that the fiends that were there with her would not only be spared, but they would have a portal to use to go back and rebuild downstairs. Alastor, there's only one person with the hero self-giving complex right now, and that's Prosper. Do not follow in his footsteps, because Alastor gives up the rest of his magic, not only to sever the contract that that he had apparently with Prosper, but also to give up the remaining of his magic to save Pyra. I'm like, no, that will end you. No. Talk No Jutsu. Stop right there. But he goes through with it, and I swear, I almost started crying when he was slowly disappearing from this world. Oh, thank God, Prosper. Before we fell back into our human world, he figured out Alastor's true name. And I was like, oh my god, you almost had me started crying because I did not want my baby to die. Prosper uses Alastor's true name and the command, which was Stinging Bone. I command you to return. Stinging Bone, I command you to return. I was having such an anime sadness and sorrow moment going on right now. But either way, it worked. Alastor came back. He was a small little kid version of himself, and Pyra said I had to take him back so he can heal and everything. I was like, Alastor, get well, do not die. And so the ancients are satisfied and everything. They have gone downstairs to help rebuild with Pyra and the fiends. The witches of the town cast spells or whatever to repair it. And with the contract between the writings and Alastor being severed, they're starting to have their own little hardships. Everything's not becoming easy for them. There were some rumors going around. I guess tourism bumped up for a little bit before everything chilled. Everything returned to normal. And Prosper's going on with his daily life, and I was like, but I want to see my little fox. But I do get my wish at the very end because, Prosper's asleep, and then he notices that something is in his bedroom, so he wakes up, and there's Alastor in his fox form. We never saw his true form, but we see him back in his fox form, and Alastor is there under the disguise of saying that things aren't going so well, but in reality, he's asking Prosper for advice. And he's also sending out an invitation saying that he will need the assistance of him and Nell, who is at a school for witches that are either orphans or they didn't do so well, morally. But she's getting, lenient for all the good that she's done. And he's like saying, I will expect y'all to be downstairs on this day. And, Prosper is like, that's a school night. Can you not wait until, Friday where, break officially starts? And it's like, they're so cute together. Alastor, he's getting such a sense of human humor. Especially when, Prosper is just like, playing a joke on him. It's like, no, do not text. And he swats at the phone. It's like, oh, this is the relationship I wish that we had. Like, especially downstairs, I would have so loved it. Like, Alastor was in fox form around with them and everything. But, and I loved it. That was how the book ended. Alastor was helping Pyra rebuild the downstairs. He was coming over to talk with Prosper, like back then how he did with Honor. But they're actual friends this time. And I was like, oh, such a great ending. And yeah, that's the end of my spoilers. Like I said, this was like a giant, lengthy Mission Impossible, which I didn't mind. I liked how we had our action and we had our plotting. Again, the very much wordiness is what took me out of the book every now and again, and I did not like that whatsoever. We did have, like I said, our character arcs with Nell and Prosper. Prosper dealing with like what was necessary to get Prue he would do until he realized that he was going too far, and he finally figured out the right things to do. Nell, who was very self-cautious about herself, considering that the contract that her dad made with Pyra and her doubts about being a witch and the fact that the witch's coven that oversaw, like I think it was like the Superior Coven or whatever it was called, that oversaw everything and would find her most likely guilty and that she was letting her mom down. Well, she realized that she can only be herself in a way, and she was able to do things that she was more confident in. I like those character arcs. They brought like full circles for our characters. I'm gonna miss Zachariah because I loved him, even though we saw very little of him. And Alastor, thank goodness you survived. I do not want you to put yourself in harm's way ever again. You are too precious. The Last Life of Prince Alastor, second and final book to The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding, written by Alexandra Bracken. 4 out of 5 stars, people. My name is Sarah, and bye!